Alright folks, I started this a little earlier than usual, but let me just fix this real quick. Alright, yeah, I started this a little bit early. What is it? It's about 3:30 on Saturday, May 6th. I started a little early because I want to watch a little baseball and catch our Golden State Warriors playing the Lakers this afternoon. So, and then I think we could finish this up. I was kind of excited last night about how far we'd gotten in one session, and I got excited about finishing this up. So let's get started. I cleaned my palette, cleaned my brushes just before we started. I played with the quality of my camera, the one that's on our canvas here. Let's see, let me do that again. There we go. Hoping to get a little better results. It still looks pretty crappy. It's maybe a little too bright. Let's see if we could turn that down a little bit. See if that helped at all. Let me just hit reset and see what happens. We want this camera. Let's see. Turn it down a little bit. It looks a little more realistic. Or, if not realistic, at least close to what I'm seeing. That's my dog's toenails on my kitchen floor, if you're wondering what that is. I didn't throw this into Procreate last night because I don't think it's too bad. It wasn't too bad the first time we did it, so I'm not too worried about it today. But let's work on the eyes. We'll work on the nose and the lips a little bit, and then we'll call it a we'll fuss around with the hair a little bit more, of course, and do some fine tuning. But other than that, I think we're gonna finish this today. I'm excited about another painting another large format painting. It's actually going to have a little nudity in it, which is not usually what I do. It's a model that I painted quite a bit. But she's posted the picture a few times on her Instagram. Jennifer Jones is her name. She's a pretty popular Bay Area art model. Well, not just art model, but photography model as well. And she's nice enough to let me take a stab at this photograph that she keeps posting. And I think I want to give it a shot. She's got a PG-17 image of it online, but she's nice enough to send me the actual version that's actually got the nudity. Just her breast, nothing, I guess, rated R is what the painting is of. I'm not sure how I'm going to share it with you guys. I'll probably just use the rated PG 17 image for this, or for streaming, I should say. I think I'll it's not like I'm monetized, but I don't want any issues with getting my streams taken down, or any issues with YouTube. But that'll be my next big painting. Thank you to my Facebook friends. I put a kind of a call for for good quality images to paint. Even, I think you heard me complain about even the Sktchy app is more, I mean, people are using it for inspiration in painting from, like I'm doing here. But it's really hard to find good quality, even on Sktchy. It's really hard to find good quality images that can be painted. So what I did is I put out a call to my Facebook friends for good quality images to paint. And they didn't disappoint. I probably got 20 or 30 responses. Of course, despite getting 20 or 30 responses, I think maybe 2 or 3 I put in my pile of, or my album of things to paint. Oh, and since I started this video, we never really talked about it, but I've got, I'm allergic to pollen, and so I'm constantly cleaning my throat. I've been accused of it being a tick, but I don't think it's a tick, because I've tried to not clear my throat. Of course, it's not great for YouTube, but it's also not great for having conversations. I take a, this time of year, I take antihistamines every day. I've got an inhaler. It wasn't that bad in wintertime, but even though it's raining out today, it's pretty bad. This started happening. I never had it. I lived in Humboldt County my whole life, up until, not my whole life, but from the time I was about 4 or 5 till kind of my late 20s. And as soon as I moved to the Bay Area, I think I was about 28, 29, I didn't even know what allergies were, or at least allergies to pollen was. And I just knew when I moved here, I just knew there was something wrong with me, and it was pretty obvious. My voice would get nasally. You know, my eyes would swell up and get red. I couldn't finish a sentence without coughing. Constantly clearing my throat. Not great for being a YouTuber or a host. I host quite a bit of stuff, art-related stuff. But I don't really have a choice, you know. I don't really have a choice. And it's pretty common in the Bay Area if people have pollen allergies. I notice a lot of people I work with have them. One poor guy, well, poor for a lot of reasons, he just got let go, but one poor guy, I mean, he literally sounds like his nose is plugged 24/7. When I retire, it'll be part of the reason I moved from the Bay Area. I say poor because I think the guy's lived in the Bay Area his whole life, and I don't think he knows I don't think he knows what it's like to not have that feeling all the time, like you're about to sneeze or cough, or you know, he probably, like me, gets a little bit of a break in the wintertime, but what I'm doing now is I'm kind of working on the darks. One thing that I noticed, or the biggest problem that I noticed, is my darks aren't very dark. And not the blacks, but the shadows on the face. It's really rainy and humid here today. Humid for California. I'm like, I'm not sweating, but I can feel my arms are a little itchy, like I'm about to sweat. I know, too much information. Oh, my light just died. Not the fear. I have another battery right here. Not bump the camera too much. There we go. A little jittery today. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I did have a Red Bull earlier. That might be why I'm sweating too. Don't be afraid to cut back into the hair. Don't be afraid to cut back into anything. I know we've talked about it before. If you're new to oil painting, you'll find that that's just part of the process, is you just keep cutting back into things. You know, you'll make a line and then you'll break the line. You'll make a new line and then you'll break that line. And you just keep layering and layering and layering. And ultimately, that's what makes a beautiful painting, is all those layers. Or that's one of the features of oil painting that makes the painting so beautiful, is all those layers. All right, I'm still not using any Gamsol to clean my brushes. I'm gonna try to do this whole painting without any Gamsol. And I could already see like this brush that was in terrible shape yesterday. It's just kind of been rejuvenated just from the oil, from the paint, and not dipping it over and over again into solvent. That solvent just really dries out the brush, and I know that. I've been painting long enough to know that. I could feel it when I get the solvent on my hands. I can feel my hands drying out. I don't know why I would think it'd be so different with oil, with my brushes. Yeah, pretty jittery today. That Red Bull was probably a bad idea. It always seems like such a good idea. A little sleepy, didn't get much sleep. Have a Red Bull. Gotta put those nostrils back. Since we're gonna be using this brush, well, let's go back. We'll get back to the nostrils, but let's work on the eyes a little bit. The sclera, the whites of the eyes are not white. A good place to start is kind of a lighter version of the skin tone. And see, that's even very white. So, and I'm gonna say I put some buff titanium and rosy beige. I mixed a little buff titanium into rosy beige. I'm gonna go with on this other eye. Let's take a look with just the rosy beige, which is the kind of the base color. So no white at all. At least I'm not mixing any white. Sorry, you guys, about my shaking hand. Hang on 1 second here. I got 2 people texting me at the same time. Clemson is asking when's a good time to drop off his painting. I'm gonna go watch baseball and basketball right after this, Clemson. So I think tomorrow is still probably the best time, or tonight when I get home. I was telling my friend Jeremy, I sent him a picture of that large format painting that I'm going to do next. And I said you might recognize the model because he's been over to my house before, and I've got like 5 paintings hanging up over because she's been a model at so many of our painting from life sessions. And even though the guy stays with me a week or 2 a month, he said, I don't recognize her. It must mean my paintings aren't very good. Either my paintings aren't very good or the image of her isn't very good. Let's see. Let's get those nostrils back in there. Get some more water. While I've got this darker color on my brush, let's get some of that lip. Whew. Between the antihistamine and the Red Bull, I'm really shaky today. Get my head out of the way. I can see a little bit of pupil. My phones are blowing up. Yeah, we've got to darken a lot more stuff up. Oh my God. Bear with me 1 sec. I gotta put my phone to do not disturb. Let's get some more of the dark around the bottom of the face as well. Clean up some of this old paint. Not too bad, but let's get rid of it. I watched a video from Stephen Ballman recently, and he was talking about motivation, finding motivation to paint and things that kill motivation to paint. And I think he was talking about actually his sketchbook. So if I have time, I'll put the link in the description. But he was talking about his struggles with, he's been painting for 30 years, and he had never finished a sketchbook. And by the way, I mean, if you're not following along, this whole series is, I've been calling them sketchbook paintings, and my goal is to fill this sketchbook. So this is on topic for a change. But he was talking about, all of the things since he's kind of started his sketchbook back up again. He was sharing some of his ideas about, why in the past it had been so hard for him to keep and maintain a sketchbook. And I found it interesting that one of his tips was source material. You know, he would get his sketchbook ready, he would get motivated, he would have some time, you know, find the time to do some painting. He would get his easel all set up, he'd get his paints out, and then he would spend, you know, say he had a an hour and a half or whatever to work in his sketchbook. You know, he would get all set up and ready to go, and then he'd spend, you know, a half hour to an hour online looking for things to paint. And I was guesstimating when he was going through his list of things that keep him from having a successful sketchbook. I was waiting for him to say that, because that's the problem that I have as well. It's the same problem I have with the Strata Challenge, even though there's prompts and stuff. Finding things that I want to paint is what killed me. And so that's kind of the catalyst for me reaching out to my friends on Facebook, you know, for source images. And that's why I've been, you know, talking about it so much. Is usually what kills me or kills my motivation to paint is I just don't know what the hell to paint. And I don't comment and don't send me emails and don't say that you feel bad, but just with my lifestyle, with, you know, I work quite a bit. I live by myself. You know, there's not a lot of, for portraits, I don't have a lot of people in my life that that are just running around my house, you know, that inspire me to paint. It's me and my dog. So don't worry about me, though. That's just the way things are. I'm in relationships and times too. I'm just not currently in a relationship. But so what I've done is I created an album, and I've always had an album of things that I want to paint. But it was kind of loose, you know. I'd be browsing the internet, and I'd come across something, and I'd be like, you know, oh, that's going in my things I want to paint. But it's not very organized. It's just, you know, shit you see online, on Facebook, on Instagram, you know, basically kind of a wish list. It's just kind of random. But now I have a an album that I created, and it's specifically for sketchbook paintings. Or sketchbook subject matter. So like I said, I had out of all the friends that send me stuff, there's 3 or 4 images from that. And then I've been using Chelsea Lane also had another video about how she curates stuff on Pinterest and how she's got her album set up. So I started a Pinterest album. I've had that one for a while, but I started it back when I was doing a lot of charcoal sketching. And so it's mostly a lot of black and whites and things that would be more appropriate for charcoal. Not that there isn't some overlap, but again, still trying to stay out of the white. There'll be some. This will have some white in it. This will have some white in it. These will have some white. There'll definitely be some white, but trying to stay out of it for as much of the painting as I can. Just like I'm trying to stay out of the black. Just kind of bopping around, fixing stuff as I see it. Fixing stuff as I find things to fix. I'll make a little more of a transition here between this really orange and so I think I'm signed up for a workshop with Casey Bow. He took my money. He posted on Instagram yesterday that there was one spot left in his Palm Springs workshop. He happened to catch me at my desk, and I bought it immediately, or I paid for it immediately. I got a confirmation that I'd bought it. My credit card was deducted. But I haven't got anything else from him. Like a supply list or any other information about the event. I know somebody else that's taken a workshop from him before. And it's the weekend, so maybe that's all it is. But I'm excited. He's a pretty incredible artist. I got to get my map out. And see how close Palm Springs is to everything. Because I actually know a lot of artists down there from workshops that have come up. Even like one guy that come up for the Scott Hamill workshop. He lives down that way. It'd be nice to meet up with some folks while I'm down there. I know the workshop is going to be all consuming. Looking at the schedule, it looks like it's like 10 to 5 every day for 3 days. But I might take a little more time off while I'm down there. I know a little bit about the area because when I was on my sabbatical, I had that month or so that I started painting kind of down in that area and working my way up north until it got too damn cold. Too cold for me anyways. Just kind of looking to see what you guys see. It's a little weird not having a catch light in her eyes. I'm so used to that being such an important part of the painting. Important part of my paintings anyways. All right. about 45 minutes. So again, no Gamsol. I've got my lid covered. Looks like Clemson dropped off. He paints with this guy Eric, and I don't think Eric uses any Gamsol. And I was going to ask him if that's true or not. He's one of those guys, if I remember, that ends up with like 10 brushes in his hands. This guy Eric. Yeah, we usually spend so much time on the, not just painting, but discussing the eyes, the irises, the pupils, the sclera, the catch light. It's so strange for us to not have that here. We can do a little more work though around them. I think my hands are too shaky anyways. So this is the top of our eyelid. Remember, where skin meets skin, it's usually redder. It looks really red in the camera that you guys are looking at. So we can knock that down a little bit. So don't use black, even if in your source image it looks black or dark. Don't use black. And you can't see me really, but I'm basically wiping the paint off my brush, and then I'm kind of using it like a sponge to pull off some of the paint off of the panel. All right. Boy, old habits, man. 7 years of just jamming my brush into the solvent. It's going to take a while to break that habit. Let's work on our lips some more. This is just kind of a base color. Get some rosy beige to lighten it up. This brush is terrible. So that's supposed to be my chisel. I'm spinning it. That's what the solvent does. So these videos only get, these long form videos, they only get a handful of views. Some of them get up to 100 over time. But the time-lapse ones that I make, I almost hit 1,000 with the last one. And I usually just do I usually just make a time lapse out of the last video of the series. I think for this one, I'm going to make a time lapse of the entire painting. See if I can hit 1,000 views, which is pretty crazy to me. I certainly don't know 1,000 people. So YouTube must be helping out with that, whatever their algorithm is. I want to say I don't care about that kind of thing. I feel like I shouldn't care about that kind of thing. But watching that little counter go up, the real-time counter, as people are watching your video, there's something addicting about it. It's thrilling too, to be honest. It hit 900 and I was like, ah, gosh, I gotta get to bed. I gotta walk my dog. And I just remember having some anxiety about, I got stuff I need to do, but I want to watch this. I think we're gonna break 1,000. So thank you if you happen to be one of the people that watch my, I think they're called shorts. So the deal with shorts is they have to be they can't be over a minute. And they're kind of like reels on Instagram. I sure wish I was better at noses. Just gotta keep trying, I guess. So you might be asking, well, if you can't use solvent, or if you don't want to use solvent to clean your brushes, how do you clean your brushes? Especially when you're painting. And so the way I understand it, and what seems to be working, is well, the best thing to do is to have a light brush and a dark brush. So for all your dark colors, have a brush, and then for all your light colors, have a brush. And that's why you see artists holding multiple brushes in their hand. But to actually clean your brush, what I've been doing is, say I have a certain color on my brush, and I want to switch to another color. For the most part, I just take a tissue, I wipe that color as much as I can out of my brush, and then I go to the new color, mix with my brush, get that new color on my brush, and it might be a little bit dirty, but then what I'll do is I'll wipe it one more time. Wipe my brush one more time, get as much of that color out as I can, and then I'll go back. Like say I wanted to use white. Let's see, what color do I want to use next? What do we want to work on? I still want to, so I got a dark color in my brush. I want to work on this eyebrow a little bit more with this little round. I'm also not fully content with her nostril. So I'm going to take that up in the up in the darker parts of the nostril, and I'm going to work on that a little bit. So I've got dark really embedded in this brush. So now I want to switch to a lighter color. Let's see, where do I want to switch to a lighter color? So let's go back and work on our lips a little bit. So I want to switch from that really burnt umber to kind of a light pink or a light red, maybe over her eyebrow a little bit, or her eyelid a little bit. So I'm wiping as much of that as I can out. I got kind of this pile over here with some dirty color, kind of the dirty skin tone, but closer to the color that I'm gonna get. Wipe it out one more time, and then let's mix that color, which I'm gonna use rosy beige and a little cad red. Let's see how we did. And I think perfect. I'm not getting any burnt umber vibes. So nice and clean. All right, I said I wanted to work on the lips a little bit. Let's take that pink that pink that we just made, and let's see if we could get some more definition in our nose. So just on the light side here. Probably didn't need to go that high. Remember, this is the light side. I keep forgetting which side is the light side. It's very important that you remember the light side. I'm going to darken this up a little bit, and this is totally the wrong brush. I should probably just let me grab another brush. Let's grab the one that I hate right now. We'll give it another try. I don't like the line, like I can see the line that you guys see in the video. I don't like the line of this left side of her jaw here. I don't like the right side of it either. And then we'll take another brush for that dark bit. That. Well, let's take another look. This part of her chin is a little weird. Let's see what we can do to fix that. this brush. Let's try some lights. I hate that brush. Let's not try that brush, but let's use this one. This one looks like it's in good shape. Number 6 Treckel Legion. By lights, I mean, let's start with buff titanium. So we're going to do the same thing. It had a little bit pink in the brush, so clean it up a little bit. All right. So that's pretty light. That's pretty light. This is pretty light. This is pretty light. This is very light. This kind of goes all the way to the eye. Just kind of bopping around like we do. I don't like the quality of paint kind of on her forehead here. By quality, it's just like thin and blotchy. But as I'm saying that, it would be so much worse if I had Gamsol. I'm not against Gamsol. I'm just trying something different. What broke me is on Gamsol is having the water mixable oil for over a year, and then going back. The reason I went back to traditional oils is I took a couple workshops, and the guys giving the workshops, they specifically said to use traditional oils and to not use water mixable oils. So I switched back to the traditional oils, and I'm just pissed off because I don't think I bought a set of brushes while I was using the water mixable oils, because they were in such good shape. Even when I abused them and didn't clean them every night, they stayed in wonderful shape and they were easy to clean. And then now going back to traditional oil, all my brushes are fucked up. And I just bought a new set after the last set of brushes got fucked up. Better watch my language. So, and then also in the studio, I've been complaining. I didn't realize that it started after switching back to traditional oils, but I basically been complaining about the quality of paint and kind of confused about, like, every time I lay down a brush stroke, I'm picking up so much paint that I'm spending the whole time fixing these blotchy patches of paint and not able to move on to different phases of the painting. And I just realized, I'm embarrassed to say, that it's happening because every time I switch colors, I would clean my brush in where I used to just put it in water, and the water kind of wrings out of your brush really quick. The solvent from the Gamsol doesn't wring out of your brush quick. So yeah, I'm trying to paint with the detergent on my brush. So it shouldn't be surprising that every time I lay down a brush stroke, especially if you paint kind of thin like I do, relatively thin, it shouldn't be surprising that I'm pulling up paint. Sorry, I'm going to town here on this painting while I'm talking, but I'm all fired up. Oh, and I guess it wasn't my discovery. As I've been complaining about it, people in the Painting from Life sessions, other artists are like, they're saying things like, you need to get more paint on your brush. But the solution really is I need to get less solvent on my brush. So maybe if you're finding yourself in a similar situation where you're not happy with the quality of your paint, despite what I'm sure you're spending on it, just like me, that might be your issue as well. Take it easy on the Gamsol. And so far, this seems to be the answer. It seems to be the issue that I'm not getting that blotchiness, which I was before. Mystery solved. Mystery solved. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a break, maybe just a couple minutes, go use the restroom, and then we'll come back and we'll do the hair, and then we'll call it a session. Let's see, we'll put this one back up, and then we'll. All right. So before we move on, let's get a couple highlights in here. We lighten stuff up, but we don't really have the highlight. So making sure I'm unmuted. Yep. So for that we're going to use white. And I should have done this on the break, but let's clean this up. And get some more white on. Perfect. All right. I'm getting hungry too. This brush is in good shape. Yeah, let's use this brush. I'm mixing just a little bit of cad orange in there in my titanium white. Oops. I think somewhere along the way we jacked up her big eyebrow too, or eyelash over here. Let's put that back. All right, we ready to mess with some hair? So first, let's get some background back in here. Remember, we were kind of green on the background, so we had a little bit of gold ochre, raw umber, and black. And I'm going to get just a little bit of my medium. We'll fix these spots that I jacked up with my maul stick. And then we're also giving, by reestablishing that background, we're also giving, we're also making it easy to mix the hair color back in with the background, because we want the hair to disappear into the background at its very edges. Remember, we had some, well, that's really in there. I'll fix that later. All right, so keeping in with what we've been doing, it'd be really easy to just stick this whole brush in the Gamsol and rinse all that dark out of there. But just for practice for me, let's not do that. So I think the base of our hair is going to be buff titanium. It's going to be a little bit of gold ochre. It's pretty it's pretty golden right through here. And the gold kind of comes down. It's almost got like a little bit of a transparent red oxide in it. See, it's hard to make this highlight a highlight unless the background is dark. So let's darken that background up a little bit. And I'm cheating. You saw me just grab some ivory black. Could be a terrible idea, could be a brilliant idea. Noticing how much darker this is. Since we've got a dark color in our brush, let's take advantage of it. My Giants are up 1-0. Yeah. And I'm just darkening things to make the yellow pop of her hair. About 1:30. All right. Now we really got a dark brush. Let's see how we can clean this up. Let's recreate our hair color. You're going to get some blue in there to kill some of that orange. Remember, the complementary color of orange is blue. So we're kind of graying it down. Let's see. Oh, Tyro Strada just hit a 2-run home run, must have been. I missed it. Sorry for you guys. It's getting to be about time for me to go. Because I think I need a cheesesteak and a pale ale. And to root my Giants on to victory. Looks like they're doing fine without me, but I want to help. And then back to the brush topic, I think ultimately what tonight is going to be, after I get home from watching baseball and basketball, is going to be a brush cleaning session. In that, I just use dish soap. And we'll see if we can get my brushes to last a little bit longer. Not my best painting. We'll see if this is the last one or not, but it doesn't feel finished, but I kind of got to go. So yeah, we're going to call it here. Thanks for following along. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.